Hello and welcome. My name is Céline. I'm your next door knitty friend and I'd love to sit down together today to chat about knitting plans for the next couple of months. I've never done a video like this before. I've been lacking a little bit of excitement around knitting. I think all of the projects I'm currently working on are very labor intensive, so they're a bit slow. So last night I decided to rummage through my yarn stash to hopefully reawaken that excitement. I am happy to report that your girl is now super stoked about her knitting plans. I really recommend you do that. Have a moment with your yarn stash. Just remind yourself about all the beauties that you have that you've kind of hidden away and neglected a little bit. These are all projects I already have the yarn for, so I'll be showing you the fibers that I selected for them. It's going to be 10 patterns that I'll talk about. And of course, please let me know in the comment section what your knitting plans are or what's your next project on queue. And if you're unsure, you can let me know what's currently on your needles because I'd love to know that as well. At the end of March, I told everyone on my Instagram stories that I was going to go on a yarn ban. And 2 days later, I bought some yarn. I was so embarrassed by this fact that I didn't document this yarn acquisition. No one knows that I bought this yarn. Past me has sinned and present me would never do something like this again. I feel like I can now come clean about this yarn purchase for this project that I really want to work on. Ta-da! I've got 2 skeins of the Gepard Teddy Dare in the shade 101 to make petite knits teddy clutch. Now, I'm not one to make knitted bags, but when I saw a teddy clutch in real life, I absolutely lost it. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. So I got the yarn, I got it in a Milan yarn shop, and I don't know what's wrong with my brain, but I can't remember the name, which is not normal. Wait, I've got a receipt. Lana di miele. Yes, this is 60% merino wool and 40% alpaca superfine. I've worked with this before for my beanie number 6 by My Favorite Things. It's weird because it's very satisfying to work up, but it hurts your wrists. But I think it's worth it. The fabric that results from this is just so scrumptious and special. And also it's only 2 skeins, pretty thick yarn. The gauge is quite big, so the pain will only last for a shorter period. You're not making a sweater with this, you know. I will be making the smaller size of the teddy clutch. The pattern comes in 2 sizes, small and large. Gauge is 16 stitches on 3.5mm needles. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be so painful on the hands. Oh goodness. So the teddy clutch is worked in stockinette stitch bottom up. The top of the clutch is mounted on a clutch frame, and I indeed purchased that as well when I was at Lana di Miele. Here she is. I got the petite knit one. This is what she looks like. Once that's mounted, a lining is meant to be sewn inside of the clutch, and because I'm lazy, I also bought the pre-sewn petite knit lining. I didn't actually buy it because I'm lazy. I bought it because if I would have done it from scratch, I knew it wouldn't have looked good. I don't own a sewing machine. I absolutely despised hand sewing, so oh my gosh, horror movie, right? I decided I'd like the pre-sewn one that's gonna look nice and neat. I'm already gonna have to sew it to the clutch, so you know, I can deal with that. At least I've got the comfort of having a nicely sewn little shape for my lining. At the shop, they were also selling the chain, but I decided not to buy that because I think I wanna make it first, and then when I'll have it in my hands, I'll decide if I just want to use it in the house to store my little things, or if I want to go out and show it off and use it as a handbag with my outfits. I guess I'll see. I can't wait. Before I jump into the next knitting plan, I'd like to introduce you to the sponsor of today's video, which is Foreo, whose products have played a huge part in my knitting sessions over the past months. Foreo Sweden is a skincare brand which focuses on making self-care effortless and enjoyable. Here's the FAQ 202, which is a new generation of LED face masks. It's made in this really flexible silicone, and thanks to that, alongside the adjustable straps, this perfectly molds to your face and it feels really comfortable, so I always put it on while I knit, while I watch a show, and sometimes even when I clean around the house. It emits 8 different wavelengths, including NIR, to tackle signs of aging and other skin concerns. I really like the blue light because it addresses my acne-prone skin. Most of the time I'll set it up directly from the mask, but if you like, you can also set it up from the app on your phone, where there are many other treatments that last up to 15 minutes. Once my FAQ 202 is done, I like to go in with my UFO3, which is a red light therapy device. I use this with a Foreo mask to lock in the hydration. It does thermotherapy, cryotherapy. I've said this before, but this makes my face look like a juicy apricot. And for me, there's truly nothing like hydrated skin to keep me feeling fresh and alive after knitting until 4 a.m. If any of you knitty friends would also like to make more time for skincare out of your busy knitting schedules, you can check out the Foreo FAQ 202 and other Foreo products at the link in my description. You can use my code 30Céline for 30% off almost all Foreo products. That is code 30CELINE for 30% off, and this code is actually stackable with any ongoing promotion. Last summer I was in Spain and I visited the Vegan Knits yarn shop, and I came out of it with 2 hanks of this gorgeousness. This is their yarn called Plain. It is 100% lace cotton. The fiber looks and feels like paper, which is so bizarre and unique. I only know of one other fiber that's very similar. It's the Japanese or Japan's cotton by Isier. I have seen a garment knitted up in this. It's just to die for. I'd like to make my Sadie top that's usually knitted in one strand of mohair. It's constructed with a contiguous saddle shoulder, so I don't know if you can see, but there's a really pretty sleeve cap that waterfalls into these flowy, oversized bell sleeves that are finished off with a non-roll-in stockinette edge, and that's also applied to the hem on the body. There are gentle German short rows to raise the back, and it's just a cloud. Imagine this, made in this. There's nothing that you can buy out there that's already made that would look like it. Nothing out there made in this majestic butter yellow Spanish cotton, very paper-like fiber. This is hand-dyed with weld flower. The shade name is really special to me. It's called Ines, which was my grandmother's name. So it's just meant to be. I can't wait to transform this into this really pretty flowy top. I am so excited about this. I don't usually gravitate towards yellows. I'm not sure it's in my palette, although I don't know what my palette is. I still have to figure it out. I need to get a color analysis at some point because that will be so helpful with picking colors for my knitting. I've heard that to figure out what your color analysis or what your color palette is, you should try and find celebrities that have similar skin tones and eye colors and hair colors to you. So I was thinking maybe like a soft summer, maybe I could be a deep winter. So now I'm confused, and I definitely have to do a professional color analysis. But let me know what you guys are in the comments and what your favorite colors are to wear and to include in your knitting. Lily Kate France is a huge designer in the space, so I'm really surprised I've yet to knit something from her. She's currently working on her Winnie top pattern. I'm biased because I have a Winnie pattern myself. I just love the name, it's so cute. But this top is so stunning. It's the lace edging for me. I've got a soft spot for that. One of my favorite t-shirts that I probably wear like 3 times a week. It's not hand knitted. I inherited it from my grandmother, so it's probably 30 to 40 years old. It's a woolen blend black tee edged in these intricate lace trims. First of all, shocking that it's still holding up so strong despite it being so old and despite me wearing it all the time. It just goes to show how much quality was put in store-bought items and how it's not really the case anymore, which is a big reason why I personally knit. But also that design is so timeless and elegant and feminine. I totally see that mirrored in this Winnie top by Lily Kate. That applies to a lot of her designs. She definitely stands out from that super popular Scandi oversized look that a lot of designers have, obviously like petite knit and my favorite things. Lily Kate goes more cottagecore and 1950s, and I'm all over that. I think it's so quintessentially feminine and pretty. As far as Lily Kate's patterns go, this is amongst the baggier ones. It's got a very slight drop shoulder that just drapes over the corners of the body frame, making it specifically feminine and cutesy. Has a stunning v-neck that's not too deep and not too wide. I think it borders the neck quite nicely because it comes out quite narrow. That's really pretty. When it comes to yarn, she uses Cardiff cashmere. I can only imagine how beautifully soft that must feel. I could potentially recreate that with La Bien Aimé's cashmerino that I got in Paris. A lot of travel yarn acquisitions I've shown you so far. This one is 75% superwash merino, 15 cashmere, and 10% nylon. The shade is Amy's Flashy Lipstick. Hand-dyed gradient of hot pink and red. Stunning. I don't know if I'll be able to use this for this pattern because it's 433 meters. I only have this 100 gram skein. It was at one off. So she's not released the pattern as of today. So I don't know the exact quantities. Will I be able to make it with just this? I guess we'll see. I am willing to crop the tee, make it shorter than she makes it. Whichever way it'll go, I cannot wait to wear this yarn. This deep, vibrant berry pink has definitely been my favorite color lately. And this one specifically is just so soft. Like, I feel like a broken record talking about how I want to use up my yarn stash, and one of the main problems that knitters encounter is how to use up those half-finished skeins that remain from other projects that you finished. I have a lot of those. These are 3 bags of leftover yarn from other finished projects that I've got no use for, except for the Olymp sweater vest by Lulu. Now, of course, I'm not Lulu, and I don't think that I'm gonna use everything up just by making the sweater vest, but it's a good starting point. I've talked about my intention of knitting this in my scrap yarn project selection video. Out of all scrap yarn patterns I've seen out there, this is the one that calls my name the loudest. I don't have a sweater vest. I have a lot of scrap yarn. I've yet to knit something multicolored. I love Lulu, so this is the pattern for me. Such a statement piece. Once again, something you'd really struggle finding out there commercially. Maybe a higher end brand could make something similar to this, but it'd just be so expensive. So girl, you can make it basically for free with the yarn you've got left over in your stash. Honestly, sounds like gold to me. I love that it's worsted weight and garter stitch. I've been a real big fan of garter stitch lately. It's just such a fun texture, and it's so easy to execute because it's just knitting and no purling, if you're knitting it flat, of course, which this sweater vest is knit flat. This one's knitted horizontally, I'm pretty sure, starting from one side of the front, then it goes back for the back panel and then back to the other front panel. It's going to be very fun to lay out the colors. I already know for sure that I want to make the button band in this Drops Saffron, which is 100% cotton, color 10. Lulu has made her button band in a butter yellow, and it's so, so cute. I think it ties everything in really nicely. So I'm really inspired by that. This is most of my leftover cotton, which I really hope to destash significantly because it's just all of those leftovers from that time where I started crocheting and I just went crazy buying a lot of cheap cotton from Drops without having any plans for it, which is really bad. So I have faith in the Olymp sweater vest to help me get through this. Some other highlights from these bags of leftover yarns. Hey Mama Wolf, Skadi and Mokosh. It's very soft. This is the softest merino in Europe, fun fact. Camel's yarn, Pebble Beach, superwash merino, red currant linen from Katja. This is their 100% lino. I have a lot of Kit Couture Highland wool left over from my Hirschon bomber, some brown Issier soft left over from my Winnie sweater. So many things, you guys. This sweater vest is going to be the most eclectic medley of yarn my eyes have ever seen. Next knitty plan is my own design. I've had an idea for a little summer top. I've only knitted a swatch, so I've got nothing to show other than the yarn and this, but I'm thinking to make this V-neck drapey short bell sleeve top that's actually got buttons and then some pointy ends that tie up into a knot. That's my idea. I went to Unravel back in February and I picked up 3 hanks of the Camel's yarn linen DK in the shade Striped Venus. It's 50% baby alpaca, 25 linen, and 25 silk. It's the most beautiful ply. There are these little linen fibers creating this magnificent texture. This is the most perfect fiber for British summer because of the alpaca. So it's got those summery qualities to it with the linen and the silk, but the alpaca gives it a little tiny bit of warmth for the windy summer days here. And in this gauge, this is a 21 stitch gauge. I think I worked it up with a 4 or a 4.5mm needle, but it creates the perfect drape. It's not too dense, not too loose. It's honestly perfect. I'm so excited for the prospects of this pattern. I'm going to start by casting on at the back. I'm going to make very gentle German short rows. All of this will obviously be knit flat except for the sleeves. I'm so excited to pick some buttons. I'm thinking very small, maybe pearly white. I think that would look quite good with this colorway, which, by the way, I don't know if you got a good look at it, but we've got these neutral streaks of brown and beige and then some odd yellow and blue speckle. It's got a little bit of a sheen. I reckon it's the silk that pops through, and the Camel's yarn is my favorite hand-dyed yarn brand, so it just never disappoints. I reckon it also won't take too long unless I encounter a lot of issues in the design process, but 21 stitch gauge can work up quite fast, so hopefully I'll finish it and I'll be able to wear it before winter comes around again. One thing is for certain, I will have the pattern out next summer. I don't think I'll manage this summer considering that testing takes a long time, so I guess we'll see where the wind takes us. I have yet to make a dent in all of the birthday yarn that I collected last month when I was back home visiting Italy. I went to this yarn shop called Casa del Gomitolo and they only sell yarn cones, so I bought a bunch of those and this is one of them. There I picked up this creamy beauty which is meant to be 100% wool. It feels and stinks of sheep, so I'm pretty sure it is. The thing about that sort of shop is that no cone has a label on it, so you just pick what you like and you go ask the guy what fiber this is, and he's meant to remember the content of every single different fiber in there, which is outrageous, but I guess good for him if he can do that. So 95% sure this is 100% wool, but I got it because I want to make a Sari Nordland pattern. Now there are two designs that stole my heart and I'm not sure which one I should go for. Should I make the Orchid Bloom sweater or should I make the Champagne sweater by Sari Nordland? Which one do you think I should make? What gets me about the Champagne pattern is that mix of lace and cable. I've never seen a design like that. I've seen this one in real life and I was gobsmacked. The one thing that holds me back with this pattern is that the motif is actually not all over the body. There's a channel, I believe, underneath the sleeve and on the side of the body that's just stockinette. On the other hand, we have the Orchid Bloom. My jaw dropped when I saw this on my feed and Sari Nordland posted the yoke when I still didn't know that it wasn't gonna be all over lace. This one doesn't have any cabling, but the lace is so pretty. It reminds me of the most expensive bouquet of flowers I've ever seen. The type that Lady Diana would receive on her birthday, you know. Who wouldn't want to look like Princess Diana's bouquet of flowers? The one thing that bothers me a little bit is that this lace is meant to be all over. It's too pretty not to be everywhere. I would try and modify it so that I can put the lace everywhere. So if I could figure that out, the Orchid Bloom gains some points. I'm still not sure. So I need your guys' help and input. Which one do you like more? Either way, I'll be using her, and for both patterns I would have to pair this with a mohair because this strand's too thin, so I still need to finish brainstorming. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that I've just finished my very first skirt, and I must say the feeling is unmatched. The fire is ignited and I want to knit another skirt. I have actually had this planned for quite a long time. I've had this yarn for quite a long time to make skirt number one by my favorite things. It's a very simple stockinette skirt and I love wearing skirts in the summer, but I never wear them in the winter, and I feel like this piece would be the perfect one to start incorporating that in my winter wardrobe. It just looks so cozy and beautifully rustic, which is just the type of thing that I want to add to my outfits. I adore my favorite things sample so much that I got the similar, if not the same yarn that she uses. This is Isier Aran Tweed in the shade Confetti. It's 100% wool and 160 meters. This yarn is the most perfect thing for this pattern. The skirt silhouette is very simple, and because it's warm, it's meant to be worn during the winter. This shade is very appropriate and on brand for that, but there is a kick of fun, a hint of spice. These rainbow specks just lighten up everything and make me so happy. I love this type of quirk, subtly hidden in a seemingly simple design. Another little quirk I'll add to the skirt is some fluff. I'll be holding the Aran Tweed with Gepard Kid Seta mohair. This is 70% kid mohair and 30% silk. I have the shade 608, which is a purpley toned mid-gray. Overall, it'll shift the undertone of the Aran tweed towards more of a pinkier hue, which I really enjoy. That will be my little yarn concoction. I'm pretty sure I only have 2 skeins and I need 3 because when I bought this yarn, I didn't know what I was going to use it for. So I'm going to have to deal with that and then I can get to it. And you know what? Speaking of confetti, the next yarn cocktail is so fun. This is too good. This is the Juniper Moon Farm Moonshine yarn, which is a luxury blend of Peruvian Highland wool, extra fine baby alpaca and organic silk. This is the shade 02. We've got 180 meters and 100 grams. Suggested gauge is 16 to 20 stitches, which is perfect for the pattern that I intend this for, which is the Lulu slipover by Petite Knit. Now there's a reason why I'm also holding this one up. This is the Rico Design Creative Make It Tweed in the shade 001. It's a lace weight yarn that you hold with whatever other yarn to give it little confetti bits. Pretty much like the confetti Aran tweed from Isier that I just showed you. I want to hold it with this creamy goodness. And the reason why this came to mind is because the Lulu slipover requires buttons down the sides of the body. And look at the buttons that I'm thinking of. These are them. Stunning. Perfect for this. Can you imagine? In Italian we say sto male. When something is too good, sto male. It's so good that sto male, you know? The buttons have a pearly white base that looks exactly like the base yarn. And then the colors look like the tweed. I love fun, colorful clothes. It's just so nice to be alive and make fun clothes. I don't know why I haven't had this idea sooner, but now I can't get it out of my head. I also really do need sweater vests. I only have 1 slipover in my hand knitted wardrobe. In fact, I don't have any store-bought vests or slipovers either, so I think this would really come in handy too. The thing I love about the Lulu slipover specifically is the depth of the armhole. It's really, really deep, so it gives so much space and comfort to layer underneath. I love the fact that I'm gonna have to knit it flat a little bit less, but anything for these 3. In my hands, I now hold some yarn that has been sitting in my stash for a year. I was meaning to knit this piece last year, but I didn't get round to it. And I really hope that I'll be able to get round to it this summer. It is the most perfect piece I've ever seen, and I feel like I'm saying this for everything that I'm listing today, but this one I truly couldn't mean it more. The Oilia blouse by Starcross Knits. The yarn combo I selected for this is 2 strands of Fonty Merlin, which is a super thin strand of 100% linen. There are 190 meters in 25 grams. So this is a lace weight. And then I'd hold it with the Isier Trio 1, which is 50% linen, 30% cotton, and 20% lyocell. We have 350 meters in 50 grams in here. I need to think of synonyms for beautiful, stunning, and gorgeous because I feel like I've said that 15 million times today. Splendid, the black on the sample, is splendid. I had to replicate. Here we have the shade 570 and this is the color Ink. The concept of this piece is obviously quite similar to the Winnie top by Lily Kate France that I showed earlier because it has that lace trim, and I told you that's my soft spot. I just cannot get over it. This one has the addition of the buttons. While it is more of a tinier top in the sense that more skin is showing, I still think there's something so classy about it. I love it when I can find a piece of clothing that is a little bit daring but still keeps me feeling comfortable by staying elegant, like the Oilia blouse. I think it's quite hard to do, and it's the reason why this one stands out to me. There's also some waist shaping. The grading is superb because it shows you how to customize the piece based on your body type. I love how I know this would make me feel while wearing it. Black is so refined and elegant and understated and classy. Seriously, I just can't get enough. We've come to the last piece of my knitting plans list, and this one I've been meaning to work on for so long. It's another self-drafted pattern that I want to release eventually. I've made the first sample somewhere around August last year, so it's almost been a year. What am I doing? Why have I not made the second sample and written up the pattern? I'm quite mad at myself. The gauge on this is absolutely huge. I can't remember, but it's like 9 stitches per 10 centimeters. So maybe I could do a little bit of a faster testing period to get it out before the summer ends. I'll keep you guys posted. It's still nameless, but it is this exaggerated, oversized robe-like cardigan. This is the first and only sample that I've ever made where I held, I think, 5 strands of mohair together, which is so over the top, but I wanted to obtain this like iridescent, almost holographic look to the strand, which is pretty cool. This is a very fun piece in my wardrobe that stands out quite a lot. It's just a very exaggerated drop shoulder with massive sleeves that then taper with this ribbing. My second sample, I'm working with 1 strand of lace weight. This is the Holstgarn Lucia, which is 42% alpaca, 35 silk, and 13 merino wool. Oh, and 10% yak as well. Basically like a substitute for mohair. It's got 200 meters and 25 grams. It's in the shade Licorice. As you can tell, I'm loving black knits lately. And yeah, I'm just holding it single on the really chunky needles. The intention with this pattern is to make it knittable in any fiber you like. Whatever material, whatever thickness, you could use something like this or something thicker up to bulky weight yarn because the gauge is going to work. So I'd love to have that sort of flexibility where people can just make very different cardigans just by changing the fiber that they pick. I can't wait to check this off my list. I think it'd be a really good addition to my repertoire of patterns, my catalog that I offer. I feel like there's space for something like this in there, and I'd be so happy if she could join my other patterns. And those were all my knitting plans for the foreseeable future. Talking about them has made me so excited to start every single one of them. I really recommend you guys do the same. Just talk about them with a friend or in the comments down below. In fact, I challenge anyone who has never commented on a YouTube video or has never commented on one of my videos to comment down below and let everyone know, what are your knitting plans? Let's exchange ideas. It's my favorite thing about making these videos is seeing your guys' responses. So while you do that, I will thank you so much for sticking till the end of this video. I really appreciate the company. I will leave my Instagram on screen in case you'd like to follow my creations more in real time and hang out on there. I will say bye for now, and I hope to see you in my next video.